And there's the prayer prior to the opening kickoff on the part of the Notre Dame players and their coach, Ara Parseghian. Each team with a victory. Notre Dame, a victory over Oklahoma. Purdue beating Virginia. The Goodyear blimp. We welcome that fine aerial artistry. The part of Goodyear here to South Bend, Indiana, as our live ABC color cameras there showing you this shot of Notre Dame Stadium. And so it will be the Boilermakers of Purdue from right to left, kicking to Notre Dame. Bob Gladjo is back, one of the men back, number 20, and Dennis Allen, and the kick is up in the air. It's good and deep, and this is Gladjo at the 5 for Notre Dame, coming out to the 10, the 15, the 20. Stepping his way, hightailing it up to about the 28-yard line. So, the Fighting Irish. Gladjo, tackled by Tom Bayless, number 81 for Purdue. They have the ball set up. Let's call it the 27 of Notre Dame, first down.
Purdue on defense will be operating from a 5-man line with 2 linebackers and 4 men in the deep secondary. They'll vary the play of those 4 men.
Seymour, number 85 to the far side. Gladjo in motion. Number 5, the quarterback, Henratty. A beautiful run by the fullback, Jeff Zimmerman of Orwigsburg, Pennsylvania, number 47. Beautiful hole opened up as Jeff Zimmerman, number 47, crosses his own 35, is nearly up to the 37, and that's why the referee calls for a measurement. The head linesman, John Olson, comes in as George Kunz and Tom McKinley on the right side made the hole for Zimmerman. The measurement. That was George Kunz who came up to see, and the referee tells you that they need about 3 inches for the first down. So here at Notre Dame Stadium, it'll be a second down and inches at about the 37.
And if Notre Dame can make the running attack stick, of course, it'll really set up their passing.
Now they flop Seymour to the near side at the bottom of your screen. Number 85 in the slot is Denny Allen, number 22. And high-stepping it through is a fine running quarterback, Terry Henratty, who gets the first down. Tim Monty, the center, and Tom McKinley blocking ahead. And the ball now comes up to the 45. So Notre Dame has the initial first down in this battle between numbers 1 and 2.
That looked like that play we ran in the pregame show, Chris, where he popped it through there.
On the far side now, it is Seymour, Denny Allen, rather. Seymour to the near side from the 45. Gladjo. And Notre Dame looking awesome in this very first series of downs. With about 14 minutes remaining, John O'Reilly comes in to make the tackle for the Purdue Boilermaker defense. And we have a Boilermaker shaken up on the play. It is number 45, Richard Mayhert, as you look at the offensive team of Notre Dame. Now it'll be a second down and 6 with the ball up at about the 49 of Notre Dame. Gladjo, number 20, to the near side, the flanker. Seymour, opposite, split in. Denny Allen carried the ball for a yard or 2. And in the white jersey is big number 60, a senior, the middle guard, Chuck Kyle, and quite a performer. So it'll be a third down now and 3 for Notre Dame at the Purdue 49.
That's their 5th play, Chris. No passes as yet, so they'll see the ball in the air shortly.
And it's Seymour to the near side. Denny Allen is opposite. 3rd and 3. Nice draw play, going for the first down. They are close, but the Purdue defense come together on Jeff Zimmerman, number 47. You saw Gladjo, number 20, up there blocking, as Chuck Kyle, number 60, and number 58, Bob Unaska. On the far side, that is the Purdue coaching staff, busily engaged now, as we have a 4th down, and let's call it 2 for Notre Dame.
Last year in this game, Notre Dame threw 63 passes. Today, they're going to try to establish that running attack before they put the ball in the air.
Jim Arriera, number 81, is back to punt. Back for Purdue is Tim Foley, number 43. It's off the side of the foot. A very bad punt on the part of Notre Dame's punter. And it is dead at the Purdue 24-yard line. A kick that traveled only 24 yards as we look at Coach Jack Mollenkopf. A timeout here at Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend. The score is Purdue nothing, Notre Dame nothing. Notre Dame ran 5 plays here in South Bend. On the 6th play, Jim Arrieta punted 24 yards, and now Purdue's offensive team has the ball for the first time in a scoreless ball game. You look at the lineup, and Mike Phipps is 15, the quarterback. Jim Kirkpatrick, 25. Leroy Keys, 23. Perry Williams, 47. Cooper is the split into the near side, and the ball goes to Keys. Keys cuts upfield, steps over, and gets about 6 yards on the play. Leroy Keys, number 23, is stopped by Ernie Jackson, one of the sophomore secondary, number 25. And going off the field for Notre Dame, limping, or rather for Purdue, is number 15, Mike Phipps, their great quarterback. So, right off on the first play, the Purdue quarterback is hurt, and here is junior Don Kiepert, number 10, from Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Notre Dame defense is a 4-man line with 4 linebackers, 3 men in the deep secondary. Keys this time is a tailback.
2nd down and 4, and here is Keys. Beautiful pursuit by the Notre Dame defense. Bob Olson is number 36. Bob Jokish, number 70, in on the play, along with Chuck Lux. Purdue now has the ball at the 27. It'll be a 3rd down play, 3rd and 7. Lost 3 on the last, as Mike Phipps is on the far sideline, and his replacement is Don Kiepert. Leroy Keys now comes to this side of the field. Here is Kiepert. And he rifles one. The number 46, Randy Cooper. Cooper, the end on the far side of the field, gets a bullet from the replacement quarterback, and Purdue has a 1st down up to the 45.
Watch it again.
Slow motion.
Now in this replay. He starts down the field as the ball is snapped. He had to fight past the end. And that ball was really drilled in there. Very fine throw.
Back live, Leroy Keys to this side. Whoops, a loose ball, but recovered by, it appeared it was Perry Williams. Let's take a closer look. Make it number 25, Jim Kirkpatrick, the junior from Charlotte, North Carolina, who covered that ball at the 46-yard line. He gained a yard at 2nd and 9, no score, 10.5 left in the 1st quarter.
With a new quarterback, the timing on running plays is particularly difficult. The pass attack doesn't suffer too much if the quarterback throws the ball as well, but the coordination in the backfield is a problem.
It is complete to Kirkpatrick, as Kiepert is more than filling in for injured Mike Phipps for the Boilermakers, and they are now at the Notre Dame 37-yard line. 1st down. Ernie Jackson on the defensive play as Kirkpatrick, number 25, goes back to the Purdue huddle.
Kiepert thus far has certainly looked like he's an ample replacement. The last 2 balls he's thrown have been perfectly on target. Here we have a look at Phipps over on the sidelines, and it would appear from that it's probably a chest injury of some sort.
Here is Kiepert now looking down and throwing behind Randy Cooper, the sophomore from Lima, Ohio, number 46. And there again that is Pinky Newell on the right with the sunglasses. He was awarded the Trainer of the Year trophy last year among all college trainers. A super fella that I had the pleasure of going to Purdue with.
And as Pinky is looking at Mike Phipps there, I would say that he got a blow on the kidney in the back.
And we've just received word that he has a bruised thigh as well, as Leroy Keys now goes to the far side. It is a 2nd down and 10 following an incompletion. Bob Dillingham to the near side. Kiepert wants to throw. Throws out in the flat. Over the head of Leroy Keys, who was amply covered by John Gasser, number 46. There you see Gasser running back.
The 3 deep for the University of Notre Dame are new players this year, new starters. Jackson at right halfback, number 25. 19, Quinn will be the safety man, and Glasser, number 46, is also playing defensive halfback. How well they play today, as you can see them taking their positions, will determine Notre Dame's defensive ability.
Bob Dillingham, number 82, to the near side. Kiepert getting good protection, drills one and finds his mark. Leroy Keys, covered by 3 men. Leroy Keys, the All-American and Heisman Trophy candidate, and Purdue now is inside the Notre Dame 25 at the 24. Slow motion.
Watch it again in slow motion, and you can see how tough they're going to play Leroy Keys. He's sort of drifting in there now. Here comes the ball, and watch the Notre Dame defense close on him. Linebacker coming across, Quinn on top, Glasser coming across. But he's got great hands, and he was able to hold the ball.
And now we have a measurement coming up. Perry Williams, the co-captain of Purdue, as we also get a penalty signal against Notre Dame.
Defensive interference refused because they already picked up the first down.
That's right. So Purdue now has its first down at the Notre Dame 24. 3 first downs for Purdue, 1 for Notre Dame. No score. Bob Dillingham to the near side. Keys is opposite as a flanker back, and Keeper needs silence in this madhouse, Notre Dame Stadium. Listen.
The Purdue team is right in front of the Notre Dame student section, and I've heard coaches, Chris, say when they play here that you've got to do your scoring when you're going the other way, so you don't have to call that snap count in front of the students.
About 60,000 fans here. Shirt sleeve crowd. Sun beaming down as Leroy Keys, number 23, to the far side. Dillingham to the near side. 1st and 10 at the 24. Keeper giving to Williams, the fullback, as he bulls his way inside the 20. Now at about the 19.
Little contact on that play.
That aerial view, quite impressive. So is this campus, where 7,500 students get a higher education. Now Purdue with the ball at the 19, have a 2nd down and 5. This drive started way back at their own 24, and on the first play, their star quarterback, Phipps, was hurt. Keeper pitches out to Leroy Keys, and Keys will be drawing that type of a crowd all afternoon, you can rest assured.
That time they ran the sweep into the narrow side of the field, hoping that Notre Dame would be anticipating a play to the top of your camera, which is the wide field. However, the Notre Dame defense adjusted very well because I believe that, as Chris said, they're going to be keying on Keys.
And number 15, Mike Phipps, who was shaken up on the very first offensive play for the Boilermakers, trying to shake off the bruises. He was injured last week against Virginia. And now it's Dillingham, number 82, to the far side. We look at Don Keepert, the reserve quarterback, on a 3rd and 3. Leroy Keys on a half-back option pass. It's in there. Beautiful defensive work on the part of Notre Dame's John Gasser.
It looked like he had it open to run as well as to throw, Chris, and that's always a very difficult decision for a halfback on the option to pass run. If he held on to the ball, it's 6 points. If I run with it, probably won't be 6 points, even though I would have picked up good yardage.
Jeff Jones has come into the lineup.
We watch the ball coming in here on our slow motion instant replay. And he did not drop the ball. Glasser made a great defensive play.
34-yard field goal tried by Jeff Jones of Purdue. It is up. It is good. And Purdue takes a 3-0 lead on a 34-yard field goal by Jeff Jones. And this year he is 2 for 2. ABC and the NCAA combine to bring you all the thrills of college football with timeout. The score is Purdue 3, Notre Dame nothing. Notre Dame's Bob Gladjo on the near side. Denny Allen is opposite, await Jeff Jones' kick following a 34-yard field goal by the man who is going to kick the ball. We have 8:28 remaining in the first quarter. Purdue leads 3-0. Jones moves to the ball. It's high. It's short of Allen and Gladjo. It is taken by number 38 of Notre Dame, Ron Dishney. So now Notre Dame gets the ball the second time. They were able to move it somewhat against Purdue, but had to punt on 4th and 2 from the Purdue 48.
The first time Notre Dame did not have the ball, they did not throw a forward pass. The pass is their chief weapon. They want to establish the running, but we'll see the ball in the air shortly.
It's 1st and 10 for Notre Dame at their own 27. That's Henratty. Number 5, Jim Weingarten, the tight end. And here's that pass that Bud was talking about. And it is Jim Seymour on a beauty and knocked out of bounds by Purdue's Don Webster, number 32. What flow on the pass patterns, Weingartner and Jim Seymour. A 32-yard play, and that shows you the might of Notre Dame.
Watch it again. Seymour coming all the way across the field. It's very difficult to double cover a man when he breaks all the way across the field as Seymour is doing here, and Hanratty laid it in perfectly. That's that combination that's been so great for Notre Dame.
And so they keep it on the ground, and in the very capable hands of number 20, Bob Gladjo. And they have moved the ball now to the Purdue 35 as Chuck Kyle, the middle guard, made the stop. We have a 2nd down coming up, 2nd down and about 3. A little more than 3 as Purdue leads 3-0 on a 34-yard field goal at 8:28 of the first quarter. Straight T in the backfield. Seymour split to the left. Here's Gladjo. Jeff Zimmerman blocking beautifully for his teammate. It's a first down for Notre Dame inside the Purdue 30. And the first downs are evened up at 3 apiece. As Billy McCoy and Chuck Kyle made the stop on the far side, the ball comes to rest at the 28 of Purdue.
Great defensive play at that time by Tim Foley of Purdue, who's swinging from side to side, going to the side of Jim Seymour.
Gladjo to the near side. Seymour also on this side. What a formation that is. And there's Allen.
I think the guard forgot to pull, Chris. You don't let the end in that free.
There's the back of Coach Jack Mollenkopf. That's Don Foose on the headset.
Purdue has usually got a man over the center. Their middle guard, Chuck Kyle, but they're changing the defensive alignment to an even set by moving to the wide field.
2-yard loss, 2nd and 12 for Notre Dame at the Purdue 30. Hanratty, Seymour going out. There he is, thrown behind him. O'Reilly had picked up Seymour on the play. Jim Seymour. So now we'll have a third down coming up. 3rd down and 12. The Purdue defense now being tested by the Notre Dame offense.
Get some idea of the size of the defensive lines.
Look at the average, 234, 239. Jim Weingartner now, the tight end, is split to the far side with Allen in the slot. Seymour, and Hanratty is being chased, and he throws it, and guess who's there to catch it? And it is ruled a completion. Apparently he had control before he... Let's look at it. Split screen of that last
This is
play.
really remarkable. You can see Hanratty going back on the left side of the screen. You can see Seymour being hit. That's legal to do when the ball is not in the air. Seymour swinging. Hanratty being rushed, making a great throw. And believe me, that's what's made Seymour the greatest pass receiver in Notre Dame history. He had control of the ball before going out of bounds.
All right, here's a field goal now by Scott Hempel. And a fake field goal. And the ball... Well, it was a bad pass from center, and Scott Hempel just tried to do the best thing he could. Alex Davis put the rush on him for Purdue.
As you say, Chris, it was a bad snap, not a designed play. Rather than risk having the kick blocked, he did the right thing. Anytime you have any sort of a delay on a kick situation, if you kick it, it may be blocked, and it may be 6 points for the other team. The thing to do is to eat the ball, as Notre Dame did.
Very good, Bud. That experting from our colleague Bud Wilkinson, who knows what he's talking about. And he had the pleasure or displeasure of coaching the Oklahoma Sooners against Notre Dame several times, right, Bud?
And we were here twice, Chris. One time it was a very sad occasion. The other time it worked out quite well.
All right. Now Purdue will try with Kiepert, the reserve quarterback. Mike Phipps is still on the bench from the 35. Leroy Keys on an option, throwing. And that was Bob Dillingham, who got double coverage and looked back into a strong sun as John Gasser, 46, and Tom Quinn, 19, covered number 82, Dillingham, on the play. He's from London, Ohio, a senior, 6'2", 192. As a first quarter score, Kansas State leading Penn State 3-0.
That'll surprise some people.
Michigan State leads Baylor 7-3. First quarter. Here in the first quarter, Purdue has a 3-0 lead with 6:21 remaining in the first period. Randy Cooper back in the lineup as Keys goes to the far side.
And 2 men go with him.
So Don Kiepert gives to his halfback, Jim Kirkpatrick, number 25. One of the Purdue cheerleaders, and their big 340-piece band, All-American band, will perform at halftime, along with the piping band of Notre Dame. It's a 3rd down now and 4. The ball is across the Purdue 40 at the 42.
Keys at tailback this time.
Leroy Keys trying to get that first down and is hit hard. Bob Neidert was in on the play, number 88, joined by Bob Olson, number 36, and Keys was allowed only 1/2 yard, which means it's a 4th down and about 4. So Purdue will punt for the first time. The initial time they had the ball, they kicked a field goal to take the lead. Keys, 4 carries, 5 yards. Credit to the Notre Dame defenses. Dick Berg now kicks it end over end. Bob Gladjo calls for a fair catch at his own 27-yard line. It's timeout here at Notre Dame Stadium in Notre Dame, Indiana. The score, Purdue 3, Notre Dame nothing. The Golden Dome at Notre Dame. Perfect autumn afternoon as Notre Dame is hosting the Purdue Boilermakers. And since 1958, Purdue has won 7, Notre Dame 3. They always score a lot of points. Purdue averages 24.1, Notre Dame 18.4. So we expect more scoring, and here's Notre Dame that can really do it. From the 27, Terry Hanratty has Seymour to the far side, Gladjo opposite. Allen finds a big hole. And Denny Allen is a fighter. Don Webster in on the play, and the Notre Dame fans like the fighting Irish spirit of Dennis Allen.
He played 4 minutes last week. This is his first start for the University of Notre Dame.
There you see the recent results of the Purdue-Notre Dame series. And only in 1963 was it a low-scoring ball game. Right now, Purdue leads 3-0, but Notre Dame has the ball with a 1st and 10 at their own 38. Allen goes to the far side, Seymour opposite. And Jeff Zimmerman upended by the right side of the Purdue line. Fred Hogue, Chuck Kyle, and Ron Marie. As a marker is down on the field, Jack Molenkopp. Jack Molenkopp appears to have been injured on the sideline.
This is a hard place to play.
Not only his quarterback, Mike Phipps, but now head coach Jack Molenkopp is, Pinky Newell is a busy man this afternoon. Now it's a 2nd down and 9 at the 39 of Notre Dame. Slot formation, far side. Zimmerman finds that hole and carries the ball up to the 49. A 1st down for Notre Dame. And, Bud, they are making holes offensively.
The double coverage is on Seymour on almost every play. That means that your running attack is going with 10 men against 9 remaining men. If you can execute as well as they are now, you've got to drop some of that double coverage, and that, of course, will make it easier for Seymour.
Terry Hanratty's performance thus far this year. 1st and 10 from the 49. And now with Notre Dame establishing their ground game, look out for the bombs, the passes. They are doing a nifty job. This drive started on the 27. It is now advanced to the Purdue 42. Timeout called by the Boilermakers.
Whenever you're moving the ball as well as Notre Dame was moving it against Purdue, the smart thing is to take that timeout and sort of regroup.
We're glad you're among the millions watching this game, as more people will watch more sports on ABC in 1968 than on any other network. You know, attendance at college football stadiums across the country has increased for 14 consecutive seasons. Last fall, more than 26 million spectators attended college football games. The early figures indicate that even more will be supporting their favorite teams this season. That is a live shot of the library here on the Notre Dame campus and an airplane coming between our aerial camera and the library.
The Notre Dame line is having a remarkable takeoff. A running attack is based on how well you execute the starting count, and they have executed it to perfection thus far. You can see Jeff Zimmerman's record as a ball carrier here.
That is the man that's helped get 66 yards rushing for Notre Dame in 12 plays, or a 5.5 rushing average, and that's the dream of every coach, to get that type of an average on each carry.
When you can loosen them up with a threat like Hanratty to Seymour, makes the running attack a little easier.
Well, you can call this play at home. It's 2nd down and 1 at the Purdue 42-yard line. Tim Monty over the ball, Hanratty. And he calls on Mr. Zimmerman, who gets more than enough for a Notre Dame 1st down. Tim Foley on the tackle, along with Don Webster, number 32. There is Jeff Zimmerman.
That blocking is devastating. It looks almost as though the Notre Dame team has got total control of the stunts of the Purdue defense. At least they do at this moment.
Well, the star thus far is Zimmerman for Notre Dame. He's moved the ball at the 34, 6 carries, 40 yards for Zimmerman. Purdue leads 3-0. 3 minutes, 13 left in the first quarter. And Hanratty called his own number.
Purdue that time went into their 6-1 defense. They've been playing a 5-2, and they've been overshifting it to one side or the other. By putting 6 men on the line of scrimmage, they do narrow the gaps between defensive linemen. Slow motion here of the block. Really a great block by Pauskin. And you can see Zimmerman breaking through, and when you get that kind of blocking, believe me, it's great to be a ball carrier.
2nd down and 6, and there's Zimmerman. Number 47 in on the play for Purdue. Billy McCoy. And Dan Kaminsky, along with Chuck Kyle, as Notre Dame has moved now to the 27. They have a 3rd and 3, Bud.
And Purdue is trying to decide, do we go with our 6-1 again, or do we get into that pass defense? And it looks like they're in the pass defense.
Gladjo is in the slot. Seymour to the near side. Weingartner, the tight end, is opposite. Here's Seymour going deep. And on the short pass, it was to Gladjo, the slot man. Covering Webster, number 32, Don Webster.
And he did make some defensive play. Let's watch it again. Gladjo, as you can see, lining up here, faking the block, starting downfield. That's Zimmerman breaking in as Gladjo breaks out. Webster comes up. He made a great attempt to get to the ball. Gladjo kept his back between the defender and the ball, made the reception, and we've got a big 4th and 1.
At the Purdue 24, they need a yard. Seymour to the far side. Hanratty, that's Gladjo, going to the deep spot in the power I formation. Gladjo gets the first down and more. Nearly an official. Don Webster, 32. At the bottom, John O'Reilly. And the Notre Dame fans are happy about the 7th first down.
They popped that one against the Purdue goal line defense. They had everybody up there looking for the run, and they still made it go.
And they picked up 10 yards to the 14. Tim Montes over the ball. Weingartner, the tight end, to the left. Seymour to the right. Gladjo in the slot. That's Allen in motion, a new formation. And Zimmerman is bear hugged by number 74, Ron Marie.
The Notre Dame offensive line is taking wider than average splits. They've got about 4 feet between their offensive linemen. The Purdue defensive line is big, as you noticed when we put up the lineup a short time ago. However, I would look for Purdue as the game goes along to try to shoot some of those gaps to penetrate into the backfield.
2nd down and 9 for Notre Dame at the Purdue 13. The Boilermakers leading with a minute to go in the first quarter, 3-0. Seymour is to the left. Straight T in the backfield. Gladjo on a sweep. And Gladjo is upended at about the 7-yard line. And on the play, Don Webster, along with Bob Unaska.
Let's take a look at that again in slow motion. Gladjo getting the pitch from Hanratty. And this is really great blocking. You can see them knocking the defensive end down, and Gladjo turns the corner clean. This is what every coach is looking for. The defensive 4 deep closed very tough on him. Purdue with the ball.
15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 3rd down. And Purdue's defense comes in on Bob Gladjo again. So it's going to be a 4th down. And, of course, with the ball at the 10, Bob Unaska gets credit for that fine defensive work, the Boilermaker defense. So at the end of the first quarter, here in South Bend, the score is Purdue 3, Notre Dame nothing. Back again at Notre Dame Stadium. That is the Notre Dame band playing here on this sunny afternoon. And as we await the start of the second quarter, Purdue leading 3-0. It appears that Notre Dame would like to tie it up. Scott Hempel tried a 35-yarder earlier, and this one is coming from the 17 plus 10 in the end zone. It is no good. A 27-yard attempt by Scott Hempel of Notre Dame is no good, coming off to the near side of the goalpost here in South Bend, and Purdue takes over.
Notre Dame has had the best of it in the first quarter. The statistics, they've run 23 plays against 14. Notre Dame has made 7 first downs to 3. Their running attack has been very potent. They've made 94 yards, and here we see a boy coming into the game, Mike Phipps, and I know that makes Jack Malenkoff and the Purdue fans happy that he's gotten over the bruise he received on the first play.
Mike Phipps has Leroy Keys going to the far side. Kirkpatrick. Here is Phipps giving to Kirkpatrick. Good second effort by the junior from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Mike Phipps made a great block on that play, which certainly indicates that he came to play today and he's not too badly shaken up.
There was a 6-yard gain by Kirkpatrick, so it'll be a 2nd down and 4 for Purdue. They lead 3-0 with 14:35 remaining in the first half. That score may be a little surprising to those of you that have just tuned in, because both these teams have the ability to score a lot. 2nd and 4. Keys. And Keys is really being defensed today by Notre Dame. Chuck Locke, number 93, in on the play for Notre Dame.
I believe as the game goes along, we'll see them fake on running plays to Leroy Keys, and of course they will flanker him and throw to him if all 4 of the Notre Dame linebackers continue to move with him.
One of the nation's leaders last year in total offense, Mike Phipps, number 15, sends Randy Cooper to the far side. Keys to the near side. 3rd down and 4. And there goes Perry Williams trying for the first down. It doesn't appear that he made it, as Bob Olson, number 36, and Bob Jokish were in on the play for the Fighting Irish defense. Now it'll be a 4th down.
As Keys went out on the flanker that time, he had 2 people looking him right in the eye, Tim Kelly and John Glasser.
4th down and 3. Back to punt is Dick Berg. Number 7 going back for Notre Dame is Joe Theismann. And a rush on the kicker. A very short kick, and Notre Dame will get that ball at the Purdue 37. Chuck Locke put the rush on Dick Berg, the Purdue punter, and the result is a very ineffectual punt.
He got a little bit of a bad snap from center. We'll watch it here again, an instant replay. He's back, and you can see that he had to go up in the air like an infielder. That jump delayed it just enough to let the ball be tipped as Locke came in, and that, of course, deflected the ball and kept it short.
From the 38, Terry Hanratty, a power eye slot formation to the far side. And that is Dennis Allen. Denny Allen, number 22, carrying the ball, as Ron Marie, number 74, was in on the play. There is a loss of a yard back to the 39. So it'll be 2nd down and 11. Bob Gladjo goes to the far side as a flanker back. Hanratty pitching out to Jeff Zimmerman, who has blockers.
Boy, did he make some moves.
So the ball is inside the 30 at the 29 and a half, and that means that it's about a 3rd down, a yard and a half, as Notre Dame now has had 21 rushing plays, picking up 104 yards. Terry Hanratty now. And Gladjo falls forward for the first down, number 20.
Notre Dame that time had the end over to make it an unbalanced line. That's the 3rd time that they have gone to the unbalanced line. The Purdue defense that time did overshift with them, but on the other 2 occasions, I don't believe that they recognized it. Look at the first quarter statistics on the screen, and you can see that it's Notre Dame having the edge statistically, even though they are presently behind 3-0.
The ball is at the Purdue 26, 1st down, number 8 for Notre Dame. Purdue leads 3-0. Nice fake by Hanratty, good blocking. He throws deep, and Jim Seymour had beaten Tim Foley, number 43 on the play. Little instruction going out to the players on the field. So it'll be a 2nd down and 10 now. The ball is on the Purdue 26. There is Ara Parseghian, his 5th year at the helm here at Notre Dame. In 4 years, been in the top 10, national champions in 1966. 2nd and 10, Denny Allen to the near side, Seymour to the far side. On the option, Hanratty, hemmed in by sophomore Ron Marie, 6'6", 272 pounds, and Bill Yanchar, 6'3", 240 pounds.
The first time he ran the option, it broke very cleanly. The second time, the Purdue defense adjusted to it.
Tom Eaton has come in the lineup, replacing Jim Seymour, number 85. Eaton is number 89. Correction, Denny Allen is out. Seymour is still in. He's going to the far side of the field. He's out on a pass pattern now. Hanratty looks opposite. And there's Weingartner, the tight end, number 96. Beautiful call on the part of Terry Hanratty.
He obviously got himself very open by delaying at the line of scrimmage. The double coverage was on the wide man. He found lots of daylight as he broke right straight ahead from his position.
So the ball now is on the 9. It is 1st and goal, and look at the happy Fighting Irish fans. We have 11 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the first half. Purdue leads 3-0. Hanratty has thrown 6 times. He has completed 4. Now only 9 yards away from a touchdown. On the far side, Zimmerman bounces off Chuck Kyle. And it's Bob Unesca, number 58, the left linebacker, who was in on the play, and number 99, Bino Paraskevas, who is a native of Greece, born in Athens in 1946. So now with the ball at the 8, it is 2nd down and goal to go. There's Hanratty. 79, Tom McKinley, the right tackle. Gladwell. And you saw Zimmerman, number 47, blocking, along with number 78 of Notre Dame, co-captain George Coons.
And here comes Leroy Keys in to play defense. On the goal line, they don't want to give double coverage to Seymour. I believe we'll see Keys look Seymour in the eye on this play.
And we have a 3rd down, goal to go, just short of the 5-yard line. Seymour comes to the near side, and number 23 in white is there with him, Leroy Keys. Weingartner is the tight end, 3rd down. Hanratty pitching out, and Notre Dame is in pay dirt. Denny Allen, number 22, a sophomore, gets his touchdown. Ara Parseghian very happy about the play of his offensive unit, and Notre Dame jumps off to a 6-3 lead. Scott Hempel will try the point after. He is 6 for 6 thus far this year from last week's game. It's up and good. 9:37 of the 2nd quarter. College football observing its 100th year with timeout. The score is Notre Dame 7, Purdue 3. Well, there's a young man that's been very, very busy on the football field, helping his team to jump out to a 7-3 lead, 38-yard march with Dennis Allen scoring the touchdown. He's pretty happy, isn't he? He's a sophomore, getting his first touchdown as a varsity player. And now for Notre Dame, Steve Lambert will kick off following their touchdown. Jim Kirkpatrick is deep. He kicks back very well at the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and boy, did he run into a wall up front, thrown in there by Notre Dame. Number 38, Deschnay, was in along with Tim Kelly for the Fighting Irish. And now Purdue, not very good field position, as they have it just across their own 25 at the 27 with a 1st down as Army leads Vanderbilt 7-0 in the 1st quarter. Mike Phipps is in at quarterback. Leroy Keys to the near side, double coverage. And the pass is completed for Purdue. It appears it's Bob Dillingham, number 82. It is a 1st down for the Boilermakers as Mike Phipps goes to the air. That was Mike's first pass.
I think this is an interesting statistic. It'll watch it again in the split screen. Phipps throwing a little hook pattern, and he wanted to be sure that he got the first down. Notre Dame has thrown 6 passes and has rushed 26 plays. That's 81% of the time on the ground. Purdue has rushed 10 and passed 8.
College football. What better way to spend an autumn afternoon with timeout? The score is Notre Dame 7, Purdue 3. Here's Purdue now with a 1st and 10 from their own 37. Mike Phipps finds another receiver. Staying away from Keys, and it's Bob Dillingham falling down at the Notre Dame 47. The split screen of that last play, Bud Wilkinson.
See Phipps on the left, Dillingham at the top of the screen on the right. Phipps starts back. Dillingham breaking to the inside, and he caught that seam between the defensive halfback and the safety man.
And now back live as Purdue had picked up a 1st down to the 47 of Notre Dame. Their 5th 1st down. Kirkpatrick carried as Jack Mullenkoff looks on from the far sideline. The ball is spotted at the 47. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And he would like to get his running attack moving as well as Notre Dame.
Leroy Keys getting double coverage again as Mike Phipps looks down the middle, and Dillingham now has caught 3 in a row. Bob Dillingham and Bob Olson, the co-captain for Notre Dame, makes the stop.
The pass was tipped that time, but not tipped enough to get it off target. However, it was awfully close.
Purdue started this drive at their own 27. They have now reached the Notre Dame 37 with another 1st and 10. Mike Phipps quarterbacking. Terry Williams the fullback. Number 47. Leroy Keys 23 and Kirkpatrick 25. Leroy Keys again double coverage to the near side. There's Kirkpatrick caught from behind. I don't think that jersey tackle by number 70 wasn't effective. Bob Jokish, 6'3", 260 pounds. As we pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
Kuchenberg on the tackle.
You're looking at number 36, the captain of the Irish defense. He is the first junior to captain the Fighting Irish in 50 years. That's quite an honor. Keys to the near side, 2nd and 9 from the Notre Dame 36. Purdue trailing 7-3. Here is Phipps. And intended for Dillingham, as Mike Phipps is trying to hit the man that might be free because of double coverage on number 23, Keys.
Thus far, the pass protection of both offensive lines has been excellent. Neither team has been able to get to the passer, and when you have time to throw the ball and you possess the skill of Phipps and Hanratty, you're usually on target.
Dillingham to the far side, Keys to the near side. In the slot is Kirkpatrick as John Gasser and Tom Quinn double cover. Keys on a 3rd and 9. But there's Keys with the ball. And look at that. Wow. What pursuit. John Gasser. Well, we'll say the whole defensive unit of Notre Dame.
I've got to say you're sort of a marked man when that many people are on you.
But Keys got it despite the double coverage. And now with a 1st down, Purdue has reached the Notre Dame 25. Awesome power by 2 intercollegiate teams. Phipps now has thrown 5 times, completed 4 for 45 yards. And what an ABC NCAA football schedule this year. We'll be seeing both these teams again on our live telecast. Here's Phipps. And Phipps is to the 18-yard line, a 7-yard gain. John Gasser made the tackle. Bob Olson also in on the play.
It's the mark of a great quarterback, being able to read the defense. The receivers are all covered. You feel that daylight as Phipps did that time, and you take what could have been a wasted play and make a 7-yard gain.
Here it's Notre Dame 7, Purdue 3 with 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Notre Dame's defense now going against Purdue, 2nd and 3. That was the fullback, Perry Allen, trying to get the 1st down, and he was thrown down by number 93, Chuck Locke, and Bob Jokish. 3rd down. with the ball at the 16. It'll be 3rd and 1 for the Boilermakers.
The interior four of Notre Dame are very tough to run against. The linebackers sit behind the two guards. It's very difficult to get a blocker to them.
Dillingham and Griffin are to the far side, the ends. And here is Keys going for the first down. Look at that move. There he goes. Beautiful play by an All-American Leroy Keys. And let me tell you, that's one of the great runs I've ever seen.
Some move, believe me.
16 yards as Clanton King threw a block for Leroy Keys, and Purdue leads 9-7. Isolated
again,
view.
and he's at the tailback position. He cuts inside, and now watch him turn it on. They had back chase, but they didn't have the speed.
Now Jeff Jones adds another point for the Purdue cause. And here at Notre Dame Stadium, it's timeout in South Bend, Indiana, where the score is Purdue 10, Notre Dame 7. Number 23 is Leroy Keys, who just went 16 yards, a fantastic run to Purdue ahead with the point after 10-7. A boy that wears contact lenses when he's playing football. Leroy Keys from Newport News, Virginia, an All-American last year.
That's the first time, of course, that he's had any daylight at all. But just give him a little bit, and it's all the way.
Jeff Zimmerman and Gladjo are back, along with Denny Allen. Here is Allen, a good runner. He scored the Notre Dame touchdown, you'll recall. And he fights his way across his own 25. He is down at the 28. Dave Beek, a sophomore from Warsaw, Indiana, on the tackle. We have 5 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the first half. Purdue leads Notre Dame 10-7. Now Notre Dame has the ball at its own 28, first down. Hanratty, Zimmerman, Allen, Seymour, and Gladjo. Weingartner, the tight end, to the near side. In the slot, it is Gladjo. Beautiful fake by Hanratty. And guess who he found? Seymour. Forced out of bounds. The number 99, Vino Paraskevas, and John O'Reilly. There is the great end, Jim Seymour.
The patterns that they've been running with Seymour have almost all been across the field. You can watch it here. He's at the left side of the screen. Hanratty makes a double fake, and here comes Seymour all the way across the field. Hanratty leads him perfectly. When you come across the field, as I mentioned earlier, it's very difficult for the double coverage to hold up.
Cross-bucking Bob Gladjo on a 1st and 10 from the 46, following a great 18-yard pass play from Mr. Fling to Mr. Kling. Dennis Wergowski of Purdue and Vino Paraskevas. How are those names for tongue twisters? This is Notre Dame Stadium, and here in the bottom corner of your screen, that's the Athletic and Convocation Center, which of course means that that's where Notre Dame basketball will be played. 2nd down and 7 now for Notre Dame at the 49. Hanratty, and a loft one. He put the pressure put on. Bob Gladjo was the intended receiver, as Bob Unesca, number 58, was pressuring Hanratty.
I believe, Chris, as we go along, that the Purdue linebackers will try to keep Seymour from crossing the field as cleanly as he has been doing earlier in the game. But if you make the running fake first, as Hanratty has been making, you tie those linebackers up looking at the fake, and that gives him daylight to move across the field.
Hanratty is 5 for 8 now with the 3rd down and 7 from his own 49. And it's tipped and intercepted by Purdue. It is Bob Unesca who took the tip ball, and the Boilermakers are inside the Notre Dame 30. Billy McCoy tipped the pass thrown by Hanratty. And it's the first interception on Hanratty today.
I believe it's the first interception on Hanratty in 7 games, Chris. He went the last 5 games of last year without an interception and did the same thing last Saturday. And, of course, that one was tipped, so you can't fault him.
Right. So Purdue now has the ball at the Notre Dame 30, and Mike Phipps will quarterback the Boilermakers. Leroy Keys, who on the last time Purdue had the ball went 16 yards to score, is at the bottom of your screen. Purdue leads 10-7. 4 minutes left in the first half. And it's completed to Kirkpatrick, and a good arm tackle. by John Gasser.
One of the hardest men in football to cover is a back that lines up at halfback and then drifts across the backfield, as Kirkpatrick did that time, and then out into the flat. The linebackers usually pick up the remaining backs in the backfield, and when they cross and drift as he did, it's almost impossible to stay with them.
Second down and less than a yard for the Boilermakers at the Fighting Irish 20. Mike Phipps quarterbacking. Mike Frame, a senior from South Bend, is the offensive center for Purdue. 3:25 left in the first half. Getting the first down is fullback and co-captain Perry Williams. First downs are evened up at 9 apiece. Besides the 114 major teams, other NCAA members play outstanding football. 2 college division powers, Grambling and Morgan State, are playing a charity game in New York's Yankee Stadium this afternoon, with all profits going to scholarship aid for secondary school dropouts. So now the ball is at the 17 of Notre Dame. First down, Purdue. Bob Dillingham to the far side. Here's Dillingham. The pass being thrown by Keys. It is a touchdown. Purdue. Leroy Keys has just thrown a bomb to Bob Dillingham, and Purdue is leading 16-7. Mr. Everything, Leroy Keys, to the end, Bob Dillingham.
And if you wonder about athletic ability, he threw that thing on a dead run moving to the left, which is the hardest play for a right-handed football player.
17 yards. Jeff Jones now will try the point after with Mike Phipps holding. It's up. It's good. 2:57 remaining in the first half. And a tipped pass and an interception by Bob Yunaska for Purdue, as then Mike Phipps, 30 yards, 3 plays, a 17-yard pass from Leroy Keys to Bob Dillingham.
Since I've watched a lot of football, I don't believe I've ever seen better execution than Leroy Keys used on that last play, because he didn't stop and turn as so many right-handers have to do moving to the left, and he hung that ball out there. Dillingham was only about a step ahead. Marvelous throw.
There's Dillingham on the right, and 2 men right on top of him. A high trajectory pass thrown by Leroy Keys, and now Purdue will kick to Notre Dame. 2:57 remaining in the first half, and what a halftime show we have coming up. Big Purdue band and the spirited Fighting Irish band. Jeff Jones kicking. Ron Dushnay, 5'10" fullback for the Fighting Irish, got the ball, and the play is stopped at the 30-yard line. So let's see what Notre Dame can do now. Purdue is in the lead by a score of 17-7. Terry Hanratty, number 5, going into the Notre Dame huddle. He has Jeff Zimmerman, number 47 at fullback. 2:51 left in the first half. Gladio is the flanker, 20. Allen is 22. Allen now comes over as the flanker back to the near side with Seymour opposite. Good fake. And it was a flat pass to Gladio, number 20, who picks up 5 yards on the play to the 35.
2:37 on the clock. Notre Dame has 4 timeouts remaining, so they do have ample time to move the ball. If they keep it in the field, they can take the timeout. Of course, if it goes out of bounds, that'll kill the clock.
I bet you all thought there were nothing but boys at Purdue, right? Those are the Silver Twins from West Lafayette, Indiana. You'll see them at halftime, plus the Golden Girl. 2nd and 5. Gladio. Beautiful move. Loose ball, and Purdue recovers. Purdue has recovered a fumble by Bob Gladio at the Notre Dame 41, and Bob Yunaska is the man that did it.
Let's watch it again. You can see it, kind of a draw play. Beautiful blocking. Gladio now is breaking to the left, and he's thinking touchdown. He tried to change hands with the ball in order to stiff arm the Purdue halfback, and as he tried to change hands, he was hit before he was able to get the ball over into the left arm.
From the 41, Mike Phipps throws long to Dillingham. He is down at the Notre Dame 17. A 24-yard pass play.
And Purdue has 2 timeouts remaining.
We have 1 minute and 49 seconds remaining in the first half, Bud.
Purdue took the timeout to kill the clock, regroup.
In this 100th year of college football, Chevrolet is making gifts of 4 commemorative paintings of college football, one of which was presented yesterday by Mr. Robert D. Lund, the Chevrolet Assistant General Sales Manager. He did it on the field in South Bend. Thank you very much, Mr. Lund, and Moose Krause, Athletic Director. Dillingham has caught 5 for 75 yards. Purdue with a 1st and 10 at the 16. Mike Phipps, 6 of 7 in the air. And it is complete to Dillingham. Mike Phipps had the boom lord on him. And he is down on the field as Dillingham caught that ball on a beautiful pass. And there's Pinky Newell, the trainer, and Leroy Keys going to the far sideline. And Purdue has taken advantage of 2 opportunities. First, Keys hitting Dillingham for a touchdown, and now Mike Phipps hitting Dillingham as Purdue leads 23-7. Jeff Jones, with the flags going down, hold the phone. A little extracurricular movement there around the offensive center. There is Pat O'Brien, the famous actor who depicted Newt Rockne so beautifully in the famous motion picture. He talked at the pep rally to the Notre Dame student body and players last night.
Dillingham has hit 7 of 8 passes for 97 yards, which is a reasonable average.
And now for the point after. And the Don Kiepert, who was holding the reserve quarterback, it was a bad pass from center. Let's watch the last touchdown, Bud.
Dillingham breaking across the field as Phipps sets to throw, and you'll see Phipps hit just as he got rid of the ball. And when you can look that kind of a rush in the eye and then throw it this accurately, you're a cool customer as well as a gifted athlete.
So with the missed point after, Purdue has 23 on the scoreboard. Notre Dame has 7. That might mean something, 23 being the number of Leroy Keys.
Well, Chris, 2 explosive offensive teams tend to even up because they will equalize over a 60-minute period, and I don't think Notre Dame is out of this by any means.
I doubt it. The team that last week scored 45 points against tough Oklahoma. As Jeff Jones kick now goes deep. It is Denny Allen carrying the ball to the 10, the 15, the 20, 25. Look at that fine effort by Allen. On the last play of the touchdown pass, Phipps had the wind knocked from him, and he seems to be okay on the far sideline. So now Notre Dame has 1:39 to get on the scoreboard, and they'll have to move the ball from their own 28, 1st down.
Purdue, of course, will be debating whether they should try to rush the passer or try to drop off 7 men to cover. And it appears this time that it's going to be a 4-man rush with 7 men covered.
Draw to Allen, and diagnosing the play was Dennis Wergowski of Bay City, Michigan, a junior, 6'5", 238. Gives you an idea of the size of the men up front on both defensive teams. Loss on the play. 2nd down and 12. There's Hanratty's performance today. That's Allen in motion. Good protection. And Jim Seymour, the all-time pass catcher in the storied history of Notre Dame football, number 85. Tim Foley brought him down, and Notre Dame has a 1st and 10.
Watch it again on the split screen. Seymour to the left. Hanratty rolling out, looking to the outside, then turning as Seymour makes his break. Delivering the ball to him perfectly. Foley making the tackle. Playing him loose to keep him from going all the way.
Now from the 44, a near interception by number 44 of Purdue, John O'Reilly. And did Gladjo then catch it? He did. Beautiful.
That was one that might have been 6 more points very easily.
And Notre Dame now, as Bud told you, with timeouts available, they call for it now. And let's look at Gladjo.
You can see him sort of floating and then breaking to the inside. The linebacker moving to the outside with the swing back. And here comes Foley. The ball is thrown a little bit to the left, and right now it appears like It's all the way for O'Reilly, rather, not Foley. Mistake. And look at the recovery by Gladio. Those are the kind of reflexes that make superior athletes.
So with 52 seconds remaining in the first half, Notre Dame trailing 23-7. Azera Parsegian talks to Jim Seymour and number 5, Terry Hanratty from Butler, Pennsylvania. Seymour, 4 catches for 72 yards.
Might make a note quickly, Chris, too, that Notre Dame has 3 timeouts remaining.
And from the famous Goodyear blimp, this aerial shot, live and in color, of the Notre Dame campus and the almost farm-like tranquility here in northern Indiana.
Except for inside the stadium.
That's true, Bud. And now with the ball at the Purdue 45, Tom Eaton is in the lineup, split to the near side of the field. Hanratty looks for one of the two. There is Seymour. And Hanratty had the rush put on by Dennis Rogowski for Purdue, but he got it off. It traveled about 45 yards in the air.
Paris Cavus was covering him, Chris. He ran a little swing pattern down about 5, rolled toward the sidelines, and then break deep, and he did have him beat.
The fluid motion when you watch Jim Seymour run and Leroy Keys is actually a thing of beauty. Tremendous athletic skill. And you'll be seeing a lot more of it, too, as we're nearing halftime here in South Bend, Indiana. And as you see, a Purdue player injured, taken to the far side of the field as Eaton, number 89, is to the near side on a 2nd and 10 from the Purdue 45. And what a catch by Tom Eaton of Lancaster, Ohio. The sophomore, 6'3", 200. And Notre Dame, with 36 seconds remaining in the first half, calls for a timeout, Bud.
And I believe that everyone watching could see the defensive plan of Purdue that time. Don't worry at all about whether they run with the football. Just don't let them complete the touchdown pass.
First down, Notre Dame 13. Purdue has 12. Purdue leads 23-7 as Notre Dame has a 1st and 10 at the Purdue 30 with 36 seconds remaining in the first half. Gladio to the far side, along with Seymour and Hanratty. As time, it was intended for Tom Eaton.
He had time, but Eaton had trouble.
Lots of trouble. Tim Foley, number 43, was 1. 32 was Don Webster, and there is the sophomore in. Got a great future. Hanratty has thrown 15 times. He has completed 9. There's Mike Phipps. It is now 2nd down and 10 with 30 seconds left in the first half. Purdue leading 23-7. Seymour to the far side. Eaton to the near side with Gladio in motion. Seymour is out there, hooking back, and nearly intercepted. And hold everything. 23, Leroy Keys covering Seymour, and a Notre Dame player. Let's get his number. Wanted to lower the boom, but the official got in there and stopped things.
I think they all do, Chris, but thus far this has been a remarkably clean football game. We can see the play here again. Keys has apparently got his hand on the ball, but Seymour had a hand in there also, and he couldn't quite hold it.
Keys has run 16 yards for a touchdown, and he has thrown 17 yards for a touchdown in the first half. Seymour getting double coverage now. Hanratty throws it into the flat to Gladio. And at the shoe tops, number 58 for Purdue, Bob Unaska, who has been a defensive star, figuring in both opportunities, a fumble recovery and a pass interception, from which Purdue scored twice. 18 seconds left in the first half, Bud.
At this stage in the game, you do debate a little bit. Should we go for 3 more points, or should we go for broke? With the score 23-7, Parsegian obviously feels that we better try to get 6 or 7 on the scoreboard before half.
Gladio and Seymour to the far side. Eaton is to the opposite on 4th and 10. And Hanratty and Leroy Keys knocks him out of bounds. 10 seconds left on the first half clock here at Notre Dame. And the secondary did a fine job at covering potential receivers, but the threat of Hanratty running.
Watch it again on the split screen. The defensive end, you can see Seymour being knocked down at the line of scrimmage there. Hanratty rolling. The Purdue defensive end lost the leverage. By that I mean he got caught inside, as you can see. Hanratty saw all that daylight down the sidelines, and he wisely took it out of bounds to kill the clock.
And the man who knocked Seymour down, number 58, Bob Unaska, came back to try to get Hanratty. He is a fine senior linebacker from Westlake, Ohio, majoring in mechanical engineering at Purdue.
Notre Dame has 2 more timeouts remaining with 10 seconds on the clock and 2 timeouts remaining. They have ample time to put the ball in play 4 times.
There you see Ara Parseghian talking to his quarterback. And thousands of people watching all the action here and on television. More people will watch more sports on ABC in 1968 than on any other network. On the ABC television schedule, a national game, October 26th, we'll find the same Fighting Irish playing in East Lansing against the Michigan State Spartans. And then a little later on, Bud Wilkinson's alma mater will welcome the Purdue Boilermakers to Minnesota.
November 8th at Minneapolis. Keys is in the game defensively. He will be playing head-to-head against Seymour. Whichever side Seymour goes, you'll see number 23, Leroy Keys, believing that he can cover him man for man.
Now it is a 1st and 10 between the 13 and 14 as Seymour and Eaton are to the near side. And Hanratty throws a bullet, and it's a beauty. Jim Seymour is hugging Tom Eaton, the sophomore of Notre Dame, and that is the first varsity touchdown pass caught by Tom Eaton of Lancaster, Ohio, a mighty happy young man, and rightfully so. And Hanratty drilled a bullet. So now it's 23-13 as Notre Dame moved from its own 28 in 10 plays. Scott Hempel makes the score 23-14. Now only 9 points separating these two powers as we look again at the last play.
Hanratty had ample time on the play. Purdue was trying to cover. See him rolling out, stopping, and there it goes. And there's not too much a defensive halfback can do. He's got to play deep. The pass was in there perfectly. We talked about the scoring, Chris. These two teams, their effectiveness at moving the football, and I guess that's become quite self-evident. And the second half ought to really be something.
And now it'll be Notre Dame's Steve Lambert kicking with only 3 seconds on the score clock here at Notre Dame Stadium. Jim Kirkpatrick is back in single safety. Also back is Perry Williams. Onside try by Notre Dame, and it failed to go 10 yards.
And that gives Purdue good field position.
That was Coley O'Brien, correction, who did the onside attempt. There he is, number 3. So Purdue takes over. They have the ball at the Notre Dame 48.
And they have exhausted their timeouts. There are 2 seconds remaining on the clock, which means one more play. It's got to be that long ball.
So we'll keep our eyes focused on number 15, who comes into the Purdue huddle, Mike Phipps, the junior from Columbus, Indiana. All academic Big Ten with a B average at Purdue. Dillingham, who has caught 2 touchdown passes, goes to the far side along with Leroy Keys. 1st and 10 from the 48. That was intended for tight end Marion Griffin. And time has expired in an exciting first half here in northern Indiana. That was the charming countenance of my colleague, Mr. Bud Wilkinson. And here's the second half kick. Lambert kicking off. Kirkpatrick is at 5, the 10, the 15, moving outside to the 20. And then surrounded by a pack of Notre Dame players. and is finally pinned down by the people in your town who bottle Coca-Cola. Things go better with Coke. Mike Phipps passing for Purdue. It is complete to the man who has caught 2 touchdown passes today, Bob Dillingham, the senior from London, Ohio. And Purdue has picked up a first down on the very first play from scrimmage.
It looked like he was throwing the ball to Kirkpatrick, but threw it a little bit high, and Dillingham was deep and picked it off. I'm sure that the major topic of discussion in both dressing rooms was, do we rush the passer, or how can we get to the passer? Because in the first half, neither team has been able to threaten the quarterback.
Leroy Keys now to the near side from the 39. Mike Phipps wanting to go to the air again, and he finds Bob Dillingham again. Mike Phipps pinpointing his passes up to the 49, nearly enough for the first down, as Don Reed is in defensively. Dillingham now has caught 8 passes for 125 yards, split screen of the last play.
Dillingham at the top of the screen, as you can see, as Phipps comes to the huddle. He looks over the defense, calls the starting count, drops back. It's a little inside hook, perfectly timed, and a great catch. And that's 9 completions out of 11 attempts for Phipps.
From the 49, that was Kirkpatrick. On the opposite side of the field, Leroy Keys was enjoying single coverage. Well, let's see what happens now as we have a 2nd and 10 for Purdue here in the opening minutes. Those are the halftime statistics.
I would say the significant statistics are the number of plays. Notre Dame 48 against 33, and the yards gained, of course, Notre Dame 290 total yards against 212. Also, the fumble and the interception hurt Notre Dame.
Randy Cooper is in at end on the far side of the field. Here is Phipps, still staying in the air. He is passing deep. It was Randy Cooper who brought that play in, and he had gotten behind number 11, Don Reed of Flint, Michigan. So it'll be a 3rd and 10 for the Boilermakers, who lead 23-14 with 13:54 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
In the first half, the Notre Dame running attack was remarkably effective. Purdue has yet to be a threat consistently running the ball, although Leroy Keys did pop a touchdown during the first half, the only time that as a ball carrier he's gotten by the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 10 now. There's Mike Phipps in his own 49 being rushed. He completes it to Bob Dillingham. What a combination.
Perfect call. The rush was on. The linebackers were penetrating, and Dillingham just broke over the middle of that area the linebackers had left. Let's watch him do it. You can see him on the left. There goes the linebacker rushing. Phipps sets. Dillingham curls in front of the halfback. The ball is thrown into that open area vacated by the rushing linebackers.
Leroy Keys to the near side from the 39 of Notre Dame. There's one to Keys. He was covered on the play by Tom Quinn, number 19.
And also by Jim Sheehan. There are 2 people on him most of the time.
In the first half, Keys carried the ball 6 times, 23 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 catches for 21 yards. He completed 1 pass, and that was for a touchdown to Bob Dillingham.
He's thrown the ball 20 times in his career and has thrown 7 touchdown passes, which is a reasonable average.
Heisman Trophy candidate now goes to the far side. Leroy Keys on a 2nd and 10. Interception. Pass intended for Dillingham. A beautiful defensive play by Notre Dame's Bob Neidert, number 88 from Akron, Ohio, a sophomore. And is he happy? He has a right to be happy. So the Notre Dame defense has come up with the ball, and they have it at their own 29-yard line. It's timeout here at Notre Dame Stadium in northern Indiana, where the score is Purdue 23, Notre Dame 14. Back again. Notre Dame Stadium, and Notre Dame's defense has come up with a football as we look at the leprechaun. Here's Bud Wilkinson.
After Purdue scored its 3rd touchdown, they missed the extra point. That 1 point can be significant as this game goes along, because both of these teams can move the ball, and it will be a closer score as the game progresses.
Seymour to the near side of the field from the 29, Hanratty, a running play. Jeff Zimmerman, 205-pound fullback. A powerful runner is Bob Unaska of Westlake, Ohio. Makes the stop for Purdue at the 35, a 6-yard gain in 2nd and 4. The officials today, the referee Gene Calhoun, the umpire Ed Herbert, the linesman John Olson, the field judge Bob Dagenhart, and the back judge Don Wedge. Second and 4, Notre Dame. And that was Bob Gladjo, number 20, trying to get the first down, and Dennis Wergowski, the defensive end of Purdue, made the tackle at the 38-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and 1.
I believe, Chris, that it's very interesting. You've never seen a harder battle than this one, but I don't believe that we've had a penalty called in the game. There was a penalty, but it was refused. It's a remarkably clean game.
3rd and 1. Going for the first down is Gladjo, and it appears that he made it by about a half yard. There's the look by the head linesman and the indication. Terry Henratty, number 5, a senior from Butler, Pennsylvania.
Notre Dame continues to do an excellent job of mixing up the running with the passing. Purdue, for the most part, has had to rely on their passing attack.
16 first downs for Notre Dame, 14 for Purdue. From the 40 of Notre Dame, first down. Nice fake by Hanratty. Seymour all alone. And Seymour out of bounds at about the Purdue 40. Tim Foley, 43, and John O'Reilly. Split screen of the last play.
Watch the play on split screen. You'll get the theory. You can see as Seymour, as he starts down the field, Hanratty makes a double fake. Now, the linebackers don't like to let a man cross the field, as Seymour is doing here, but with that double fake action in the backfield, they've got to respect the faking backs. Hanratty throws perfectly to Seymour, and he catches it with plenty of running room. Break all the way across the field.
And now from the Purdue 40, first down Notre Dame. And the tight end, Jim Weingartner, gets the ball as Notre Dame's aerial attack working beautifully against the Purdue defense. Purdue leading 23-14 with 11:35 left in the 3rd quarter. And those are the partisan hometown fans. Ball now at the 29 of Purdue following that 11-yard play. Seymour has caught 5 for 92 yards, or an average of 18 yards a catch. Allen to the far side. Beautiful blocking for Bob Gladjo. Fantastic blocking as Mike Ray makes the tackle. Blocking from Tom McKinley, number 79, and George Coons.
And also Allen. Watch Allen make the block here. He was a flanker back. You can see him at the bottom of your screen, knocking the halfback down. And that gives Gladio that extra running room. The sophomore made a great play. Gladio fighting down the field as he's tackled.
Seymour is to the left, Gladjo to the near side. From the 16, first down. Notre Dame threatening. That was Denny Allen. Hit by Bob Unaska on the play. And Bill Yanscher, number 72.
And once again, big splits in the offensive line for the University of Notre Dame. Purpose, of course, being to spread the defense. You don't have to move them as far. You can spread them out with the line spacing.
2nd down and 10, no gain on the play at the 16 of Purdue. Seymour and Gladjo set away from the line. Here's Hanratty. Way deep. Gladjo incomplete. He had it made. Number 32 covering for Purdue, junior Don Webster of Chicago.
He made a remarkable attempt to catch the ball. Watch Gladio here as he starts down the field. He knows he's going to be played there, but he fakes like a running back to get into the open. He stretches for the ball, and it appears as the ball comes into his hands that he's going to catch it, but he can't quite hold it because as he hits the ground, the bounce knocks the ball out of his arm.
And now Tommy, for 89, has replaced Denny Allen. So here on a 3rd and 10 from the Purdue 16. Awesome Notre Dame. Receivers all over the field. And the pressure, but Hanratty gets it off, and Gladjo couldn't hook it in. There you saw just how fast Hanratty can move. Billy McCoy was chasing him, big 230-pounder, as we look at Ara Farsegian and his staff.
This Hanratty's move there was just remarkable. It appeared that he was trapped, and he turned on the speed to move so far outside that he had absolutely clear vision as he threw the ball.
Scott Hempel will try for a field goal now on 4th down and 10.
This is Notre Dame's third field goal attempt, so the law averages is riding with them.
On an angle now, 32 yards, including the 10 yards of the end zone. Scott's kick is up, and it is no good. So it's timeout here at Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana. And the score with 10 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the third quarter, Purdue 23, Notre Dame 14. Well, following a missed 32-yard field goal by Scott Hempel of Notre Dame, Purdue gets the ball back following a brilliant passing march by the Notre Dame offense, which started at their own 29, stalled at the Purdue 16. So the Boilermakers, who have a 9-point lead, have Mike Phipps at quarterback, Leroy Keys to the near side of the field from the 20. And there's Kirkpatrick picking up 5 or 6 yards on the play. Bob Olson, the co-captain, made the tackle.
And the Purdue problem all day has been to generate enough running to keep the Notre Dame linebackers out of the pass defense. That's been one of the good plays that they have run that you just saw. If they can keep the linebackers close, it will help their passing tremendously.
Dillingham to the near side, Keys to the far side, 2nd and 5. And busting through is the fullback. He gets the first down for the Boilermakers. So 2 running plays. Harry Williams of Cincinnati, Ohio.
I think you could see the tacklers after the first Notre Dame man trying to go after the ball, and some people feel that that's sort of an illegal play, Chris, but believe me, it's not. If you can take the ball while it's in play, it's a great play. It's fumble, and the ball belongs to you.
Mike Phipps, 10 of 16, 1 touchdown pass to Dillingham. Keys threw another to Dillingham. Keys to the far side. And the sweep. And there's Kirkpatrick. And Purdue gets its ground game going now. And Kirkpatrick busted one and gets to the Notre Dame 28.
Great block by Williams. When you knock that end down, as he did that time, it's running room on the sweep.
38-yard play. Bob Neidert made the stop. And now for Purdue, it's a 1st and 10 as a result of rushing at the 29 of Notre Dame. To the far side, Dillingham. To the near side, Keys and Marion Griffin, the tight end. Now Dillingham is in tight. And it's Harry Williams going outside.
A little disagreement with that decision.
John Lavin, number 41, and John Gasser get on that ball as we pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. Second down and 7 for the Boilermakers from the Notre Dame 26 with 9 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Purdue leading 23-14, which was the halftime score.
Little mix-up in the huddle over getting the signal properly, not wanting to risk the 5-yard delay of the game penalty. Purdue has taken time out.
And it gives the Notre Dame defensive unit an opportunity to talk things over. As you see them on the left, a defensive unit that includes Bob Kuchenberg, Mike McCoy, Tim Kelly, Bob Olson, John Lavin, Bob Jokish, and Ed Villeman. And while Jim Sheehan is in the defensive backfield with Bob Neidert, Don Reed, and John Glasser. Jack Mullenkopf on the far side of the field.
He'd like to sit there as though he were relaxed, Chris, but I just don't think there's any way. Every time that ball is snapped, he's up and at it.
This is an afternoon of action on ABC Sports. Immediately following this exciting game, it'll be Wide World of Sports, featuring the Southern 500 stock car race. Also, we continue our coverage of the United States Olympic trials in both the men's and women's gymnastic events. The nation's leading competitors will be seen in their attempt to make the team represent this country at the Olympic Games in Mexico. That's Wide World, immediately following the Purdue-Notre Dame game. 2nd and 7 from the 26 for Purdue. Leroy Keys to the near side. Down the middle to Dillingham. Bob Dillingham. And on the play, Bob Olson, number 36. The measurement will be called for now. Dillingham with 10 catches and 137 yards. Final score, Penn State 25, Kansas State 9. They missed the first down. by about 6 inches. Michigan State leading Baylor 13-3 in the third quarter.
Notre Dame is using two types of double coverage against Leroy Keys. The corner linebacker will drop off to double cover with a halfback, and then they'll bring Quinn, the safety man, over to cover with a halfback if the linebacker is going to stay in to respect the running attack.
Power I formation on the part of Purdue. The ends are in tight. And the quarterback, Mike Phipps, getting the first down for the Boilermakers, blocking by Mike Frame, the senior center, and Bill Bilesma of Lafayette, Indiana, the right guard. Ball now is at the 17. Notre Dame with 19 first downs, Purdue 17. All with a split end. And Leroy Keys inside the backfield has an opportunity to carry it, and Bob Jokish, number 70, and Jim Sheehan, number 16, come in to stop him.
Purdue going to an unbalanced line to the bottom of your screen that time, attempting to get an extra blocker, but the Notre Dame defense recognized it and overshift the one man.
The ball is just inside the 15 of Notre Dame. This drive started at the Purdue 20. Keys to the far side. Kirkpatrick and Dillingham to the near side in a slot formation. Phipps. Kirkpatrick at about the 11-yard line.
Phipps to Kirkpatrick for 5 yards.
Bob Neidert is number 88 in the Notre Dame blue jersey. 25, Kirkpatrick. Alabama and Southern Mississippi tied 7-7 in the second quarter. Holy Cross leading Harvard 13-12 in the second period. Kansas leading Indiana 6-0 in the first quarter. So now on a third down and approximately 3. Dillingham, 82, a late mover, along with Marion Griffin. And Leroy Keys was barreling for the first down. Bob Olson in on the play. You see him there, number 36 in the dark jersey. As Keys, number 23, and the officials look to the far sideline, the linesman and his crew.
When you have a little problem getting the proper signal, as was obvious that time, it's seldom that you run a good play, but Purdue did get off well on the start, and they may have picked up the first down. Here comes the measurement.
Co-captain Perry Williams, number 47, looking on. Wow. Look at that. Just by inches. Let's see to number 23.
See the blocking form, and watch Phipps there, number 15, as he turns in to make a block. Some blocking by a quarterback. It looks like there's daylight, but great pursuit by Purdue. Keys is trying to inch forward to pick up the first down, but with that many men on you, it's hard to fall forward.
About 3 inches. On fourth down, Purdue going for it inside the Notre Dame 10. A big play, psychologically, in whatever way you want to look at it. And Phipps charged forward, and it appeared that he had forward progress. And that's where they marked the spot.
And this is one where you really want to rely on that headlinesman. He has to mark the ball.
Mike McCoy and Tim Kelly filling that hole in the center of the Notre Dame defensive line. What a ball game. We hope you're enjoying it. 23-14, Purdue leading. And now the measurement. And Notre Dame has held. The NCAA salutes two of its most famous members, Notre Dame and Purdue. Both universities fielded their first football teams way back in 1887. Each played one game that year and lost. But over the last 80 years, both Notre Dame and Purdue have contributed heavily to the greatness of college football, which this year is celebrating its 100th anniversary. Terry Hanratty now ready to go to work after a fine defensive series by the the Notre Dame defense. Let's see what the offensive team can do. They've been awesome. They're deep in their own territory now at the 7 with a 1st and 10. There is Seymour cutting back in. Beautiful play. And Notre Dame gets out of its own territory, deep territory, out to about the 30-yard line. Split screen of that last play.
Seymour again on the right of the screen, with Hanratty dropping back. Four-man rush and great pass protection. Seymour turns the inside. Hanratty waits. Perfect throw. And Seymour cutting across the field laterally, picked up great yardage.
23 yards, first down. Hanratty looking for Weingartner and finds him for another 10 or 11-yard gain. Mike Ray, the sophomore, number 48, knocked big Weingartner out of bounds. It's a first down for Notre Dame, and that aerial assault continues as you look at the back of number 78, the co-captain George Coons. Third quarter score, Southern Mississippi upsetting Alabama 14-7.
And also Bear Bryant.
Yes. Gladjo and Seymour to the near side. First down from the 41. A draw. Beautiful. And Jeff Zimmerman.
Chris, we have two superior defensive and offensive football teams here. When I started out saying superior defensive teams, they honestly are, but the attacks of both teams are truly awesome. With 6:30 to go in the third quarter, Notre Dame has made 379 yards and Purdue 312.
And for those that have these teams on their schedules, they might be holding their breath. Here is a 2nd and 10 now from the 41 of Notre Dame. 6:13 left in the third quarter. Out goes Seymour. Out goes Weingartner. And that was Mr. Weingartner, who floated out there and comes up to the midfield stripe. John O'Reilly, defensively for Purdue. Brother Bob lettered in football here at Notre Dame.
Great timing on that call by Hanratty. He sensed that Purdue was about to put the rush on. They did, and he had the screen pass called.
Hanratty now has thrown 24 times, completing 14 for 219 yards, including a touchdown pass to Tom Eaton. So now it is a third down and less than a yard at the Purdue 49. Notre Dame with the ball. Hanratty giving to Gladjo. Another one of those close ones, believe me. Bob Unaska. It is a fourth down near midfield, and the Notre Dame fans want the Fighting Irish to go for it. And Hanratty, you see him, number 5, looks to the near sideline, and in come two big men. Charlie Kennedy, number 76, that's Ara Parseghian, graduate of Miami of Ohio, and they are going to go for it.
And that gives them a little more beef up front.
Oh, I guess so. Only one man in the backfield, and that is Zimmerman. And Zimmerman fell through a tiny hole, and it appears that he made it.
One of the most unusual offensive formations we've seen in quite a while. 9 offensive linemen, the quarterback and 1 back. That sets up some spacing complications for the defensive team on a short yardage play.
Here's Hanratty now after a fine call and great execution with a 1st and 10 at the Purdue 48. Hanratty, number 5. There's the exchange. Good faking, and Jim Seymour managed to stay inbounds, get possession long enough to make the completion to the Purdue 37.
Split screen again. It's a fake of the sweep by Hanratty, which puts one-on-one coverage against Seymour. You can see the fake there at the left of the screen. Seymour breaking to the outside. The double coverage went off with the sweep fake to the top of your screen. He just barely had possession as he went out of bounds.
Seymour goes to the far side. Hanratty has hit Seymour 7 of 10 times today. That was Zimmerman, Chuck Kyle, the middle guard, and Bill Yancher, number 72, for Purdue at the 34, 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7. 4:31 left in the third quarter. Perfect afternoon for intercollegiate football as Hanratty is ready with 85 Seymour to the left, 20 Gladjo to the near side, Zimmerman and Allen in the I formation. Good faking again. And it goes to the tight end, Jim Weingartner. They flooded the zone with Seymour and Weingartner. And it's another first down as the Irish have come from their own 7-yard line to the Purdue 22. 9 points separating these two powers, numbers 1 and 2 in the country.
And I remain amazed, Chris, at the effectiveness of the offensive execution of both teams. It's remarkable.
They've run off 9 plays now from their own 7. They're at the Purdue 22. 24 first downs for the Irish. Denny Allen. 44 is John O'Reilly. 58 is Yunaska. 99 is Vino Paraskevas.
Notre Dame has moved the ball particularly well from their own territory to approximately the Purdue 20-yard line. At this point, up to now at least, Purdue has toughened up.
2nd and 10 now at the 22. Allen is flanked to the left. Seymour to the right. And there was a heads-up play by the boy born in Athens, Greece, who now lives in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, Vino Paraskevas, a wrestler at Purdue. There is the co-captain of Notre Dame, George Coons, number 78.
When you start down the line of scrimmage on the option play as a quarterback, you're looking for the end. When the tackle breaks through, or the second man on the line of scrimmage, as was the case that time, you're not quite ready to pitch the ball.
A 4-yard loss, 3rd down and 14 for Notre Dame at the Purdue 26. Hanratty. That's Allen in motion. Seymour is going out. And it's incomplete, intended for Weingartner. And now it's 4th down and 14, and Yunaska, what a football player he is for the Purdue defense, put the rush on Hanratty.
I believe that's the first time that we've seen an effective rush by either team. We also had Leroy Keys in that time playing man for man against Seymour.
Well, now, Mr. Football, Keys has done everything today. Passed for a touchdown. He has rushed for a touchdown. Defense is Allen now on 4th and 14. They are going for it. Very confident team. And Hanratty is brought down, and it backfires. 4th and 14 at the 26 as Billy McCoy, 6'3", 230, from Winston-Salem comes in and nails Hanratty. Saturday afternoons in the fall mean colorful college football here at ABC with timeout. The score is Purdue 23, Notre Dame 14. Whether you travel by land or air in the South Bend, the Golden Dome is always an inspiring sight here on the Notre Dame campus. Purdue now they have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 37. Here's Leroy Keys, finds a hole, goes outside, tries to pull away, is up, and number 11, Don Reed of Flint, Michigan, and Mike McCoy, number 77 of Erie, Pennsylvania, stop Keys at about the 45-yard line. An 8-yard pickup.
Watch Keys again here. You can see how well he reads the blocks, and he gets excellent blocking. Little break to the outside. And there's that little juke. The man coming to the inside missed him, and he almost made the play to the outside, but Reed was able to hang on.
Purdue staying on the ground on a 2nd down and about 2, as Leroy Keys was hurt on that previous play. Leroy Keys, there he is. Keys' substitute is Stan Brown of Richmond, California, the fastest back on the team, and there is the leg being massaged as Purdue made the 1st down, number 18.
It would appear that Keys strained the knee.
Stan Brown now to the near side. Brown is going out. Trying for a one-hand catch was Bob Dillingham. Bob Olson covering, falling back along with Don Reed. So it'll be a 2nd down and 10 as Purdue leads 23-14, a minute 39 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
And if Keys does not come back, it will certainly do something to the Purdue defense. He's been coming in as a defensive halfback, covering Seymour man for man, which leaves it 10-10 with the rest of the team. He hasn't done this until Notre Dame has moved the ball deep into Purdue territory.
Round to the near side. Randy Cooper is in for Purdue on a 2nd and 10 as Phipps throws in the flat to Perry Williams, the fullback, and Perry blows his way. Look at that power. the co-captain of Purdue.
Well, Chris, I tell you, when you're a coach and you're looking for people that want that goal line, and I don't think I've seen it desired any more than that.
There he is, number 47, Perry Williams from Cincinnati, Ohio, 6'2", 217 pounds, but there is a serious loss to the Purdue offense and defensive units. Leroy Keys, and we're trying to check on just what the injury might be. At the 29, first down Purdue, Stan Brown to the near side, Phipps looking, Phipps running, and Phipps runs into his own man, number 67, 250-pound Clanton King, who was moved from the defense this year to offense, and Mike McCoy, 77, of Notre Dame.
King made a good play. He saw the linebacker closing. He couldn't tell exactly where Phipps was. He tried to move across to pick him off, and not being able to see Phipps, he did get in his way.
2nd and 7 now. Stan Brown still in the lineup, and the fullback got nowhere. Perry Williams. Ed Villeman is number 35. Bob Jockish, number 70 of Peoria, Illinois. And here comes Leroy Keys back into the lineup. Stan Brown, his replacement, goes to the far side. It's a 3rd and 7 at the Notre Dame 26 with 18 less now. Seconds remaining, third quarter. Keys is to the far side along with Marion Griffin. Gillingham is opposite. There's Keys inside the 20. Let's see if it's enough for the first down. It is a first down for Purdue as Keys comes in and makes a key play along with Mike Phipps.
Zlock played that about as well defensively as you can. When you lay the ball in that way, there's just no way the defensive man can get to him.
At the end of the third quarter here at Notre Dame Stadium in northern Indiana, the score is Purdue 23, Notre Dame 14. Bud and I suggest you get comfortable for this fourth and final quarter. Purdue, 1st and 10 at the Notre Dame 17. There's Keys. And Keys is gone. What a football player. He has thrown for 1. He has raced for 2. 16 yards on his first touchdown run and 17 on this hunting.
He had been breaking it to the outside on every occasion, Chris. That time as he turned upfield, he gave it that little head fake to the outside and then zipped right down the middle for 6.
Keys now 10 carries, 54 yards, 2 touches.
There's Keys getting the ball. Watch the blocking for him now. You can see again Phipps, that great blocking quarterback. He's at the right-hand corner of your screen. He's turning upfield. And he sees that daylight inside. Look at, he almost looked like he was running the hurdles. The Notre Dame man didn't even lay a glove on him as he gave it that little bit of zip. And once he's in daylight, that's all she wrote.
And Bud, very often in athletic performances, it's sheer ballet and the grace with
running, Chris. Keys looks almost like he could have a glass of water on his head and not spill a drop. He's that smooth.
And now Jeff Jones will kick to Notre Dame. That's Ron Duchesne who carried the ball. There is a fumble. And let's see who recovered it. The referee is very emphatic about where it initially was fumbled and recovered. Notre Dame recovers its own fumble. Tom Holden was in on the play for Purdue, but Notre Dame has come up with the ball as we look at third quarter statistics, Bud.
And again, the offensive performance, amazing. Notre Dame has run 68 plays, made 165 rushing, 244 passing. Purdue has run 57 plays. They've had 126 rushing, 229 passing. A great offensive display.
Denny Allen to the near side, along with Seymour from the 24. And there's Hanratty being rushed and hit hard by Bob Unesca.
And even at this point, Chris, tackling the ball carrier inbounds, as he did, saves about 40 seconds on the clock. And when you've got a lead, that's what you're looking for. Let's watch it again. Dual isolation. Hanratty faking the inside fake by Zimmerman, holding the linebackers. Great pass protection. You can see Seymour. He appears to be open, but there's a man deep that you can't quite see on your screen. Hanratty runs, picks up a yard.
2nd and 8 now from the 26. Out in the flat to Gladjo. It is a trap ball. It was short and hit the ground first and retrieved by Bob Gladjo.
I believe he was so open, Chris, that Hanratty wanted to make double sure he'd get the ball to him, and he floated it a little bit.
So for Notre Dame, it's 3rd down and 8 at their own 26. Lifting his arm is Tim Monty, the offensive center. There you see Seymour on the right. 56 is Larry DiNardo, the sophomore left guard for Notre Dame. Seymour coming to the side, along with Denny Allen, on a 3rd and 8. Hanratty. And he is brought down by the Purdue defense, Bob Unesca, 58, and 72, Bill Yancher.
He was looking for Hanratty, but he was looking for Seymour, but there were 3 people there. Seymour simply could not get down the field or get open.
A loss of 11 yards, so it'll be 4th down and 19 for Notre Dame as the Purdue defense showing its skill here at the opening of the 4th and final quarter. Purdue leading 30-14. And this is the 3rd Notre Dame punt. Last week, Bud, they didn't punt the ball.
Purdue has only punted once, so neither team's kicking game has been tested to too great a degree.
Jim Arrieta will punt for Notre Dame, left-footed. It's coming back here. That's Tim Foley looking at it, number 43. There's Seymour, 85. So it's dead at the 46 of Purdue, a 38-yard punt as we have a timeout at Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend. The score, Purdue 30, Notre Dame 14. The Purdue band on the far sideline following a Notre Dame punt. Purdue has the ball 1st and 10 at their own 46 as they have a 30-14 lead with 13 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the ball game. Leroy Keys, sensational performance today. 10 carries, 54 yards, caught 3 passes, threw for a touchdown, has scored 2 himself. So the battle for the Heisman Trophy between he and O.J. Simpson is raging on, and you'll see them all again this year on ABC. And there is Leroy getting into Notre Dame territory.
Chris, even though the score is 30-14, Notre Dame has picked up 401 yards, so they certainly still have the potential of getting back in the ball game.
That's right. One of the Southern California games, of course, will be against UCLA. An opportunity to see O.J. Simpson. And in early November, you'll see Purdue going against Minnesota, a Big Ten powerhouse. 2nd and 6 from the 49 of Notre Dame. This is Kirkpatrick. Phipps blocking, but Bob Jokic, number 70 from Peoria, and Bob Kuchenberg defensed it. We have a clip call. Apparently a clipping penalty now.
That's the first penalty against Purdue, Chris. Notre Dame has had 3 penalties called. 2 of them were declined. As we mentioned earlier, it's been a amazingly penalty-free football game. Other errors, Notre Dame has fumbled twice and lost the ball once, and they've had 1 pass intercepted. Look at the split screen here, and you can see the clip by number 52, Leisman. And the official is right there, and you can watch him as he sees the clip, calls it properly.
So it'll be a 2nd down now for Purdue, and the ball comes back to the 38. 2nd down and 18. Keys and Randy Cooper, number 46, come to the near side. There's Phipps getting pass protection. He's got an open field and gets back to the Notre Dame 48, where Jim Sheehan of Bellevue, Washington, makes the tackle.
Watching Keys try to get off the line of scrimmage and watching Seymour try to get off the line of scrimmage makes it appear that they both have got the football, because believe me, they run into some opposition to get downfield.
Now 46. There's the Boilermaker. Boilermaker, an endearing term for those that attend and graduated from Purdue. Bob Dillingham to the far side now, and a third down and about 5. And Mr. Dillingham is continuing to do it in the clutch moments for the Purdue offense.
Along with Mr. Phipps.
He has tied the Purdue record for most catches, 11.
Watch Dillingham at the right of your screen. Phipps back. Again, amazing protection. Dillingham over the middle, and an absolutely perfect throw by Phipps. First down, Purdue.
ABC's dual isolation, slow motion exclusively. First and 10 from the 36 now for the Boilermakers. Leroy. A sure tackle by the co-captain Bob Olson. And also in on the play, number 42, Tim Kelly. As we have a marker on the field once more. It's against the Notre Dame defense. A personal foul. So the ball now is on the 20 of Notre Dame. First down, Purdue. Phipps' total offense today, 177 yards passing, 22 yards rushing for 199 yards, 27 plays, 7.8 yards per play. What a performance. Kirkpatrick. Beautiful knifing in job by number 93, Chuck Locke, a senior from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Running pass, I believe, was called that time. Kirkpatrick going to the left, slowed up just a little bit, trying to look downfield to see if the receivers were open. Nipped from behind with a great defensive play.
Dave Stidehar has been replaced at right guard by Bill Bilesma. Dave Stidehar, incidentally the son of the great footballer Joe Stidehar. Whoops. Bob Dillingham, he doesn't realize this, but if he had caught that, he would become the all-time Purdue pass catcher in one game with 12 catches. He tied men with like Jim Finley, Bob Hedrick, and Leroy Keys. So it's going to be a third down and 16, and there's Jack Mullencup. Leroy Keys to the near side. Mike Phipps is looking. And he finds Jim Kirkpatrick at the 19. Don Reed makes the tackle on number 25, and Jim Sheehan. So with the ball at the 19, that was a 7-yard gain. It's fourth down and 9.
And field goal formation at least coming up, Chris.
8 yards. Sheehan on the tackle.
Early in the ball game, Jeff Jones kicked a 34-yarder. This is going to be an effort of 35 yards. It's up, and it is short. So Notre Dame takes over following a missed field goal, as we have all the excitement, color, and tradition every Saturday on NCAA college football. The timeout, the score. Purdue 30, Notre Dame 14. And now Notre Dame, following a missed field goal of 36 yards by Purdue, has the ball first and 10 at the 20 with 10 minutes, 13 seconds left in the ball game. And Notre Dame has Terry Hanratty throwing the pass. Or is it? No, look out! Bob Gladjo, number 20, was in the area of the pass as Billy McCoy got the shoulder of Hanratty, and it goes as an incompletion.
Remarkable vision by Hanratty. It appeared as though he was grounding the ball. Had that been an ineligible receiver, grounding would have been called, but Gladio, of course, being a halfback, is an eligible receiver.
Duechny comes out at fullback and is replaced by regular Jeff Zimmerman, number 47 for Notre Dame, on a 2nd and 10 from the 20. 10:05 left in the ball game. We have Allen to the near side along with Seymour. And Zimmerman limping noticeably. Gets a pass in the flat. As he went wide, he was limping noticeably. Seems all right now as he goes back to the huddle.
I think he was just floating, Chris. They were in a double wing set, 4 quick receivers in position to go downfield, and then as he went in motion, he was waiting for the 2 men on his side to clear the zone.
We'd like to salute pilot Tony Roddy and the Mayflower, the Goodyear blimp. And this was her last flight. She'll be returned to Akron and be decommissioned. 300,000 air miles in her travels around the country. Now it's a 3rd down and 14. And an interception by John O'Reilly from Fort Wayne, Indiana. There he goes.
The pass has been very effective all day for Notre Dame. The double fake to freeze the linebackers with Seymour coming all the way across the field. At that time, the linebacker was able to drop back O'Reilly and pick it off as the ball was in the air. He read it perfectly and adjusted properly.
Now Purdue with the ball at the Notre Dame 31. Mike Phipps giving to Leroy Keys, blocking for Leroy. Look at this move. Leroy Keys getting to the 18. That was a nifty 13-yard gallop as Chuck Zloch makes the stop.
And that's the second time in the last few minutes, as we watch it again in instant replay, that he's been one ankle from 6 points. Watch him read the blocks here. He cuts inside. Great blocking. Then he takes that move to the outside and leaves a few people standing there. It's a beautiful juke. And he breaks it to the outside. Puchker makes the tackle.
And there goes the fullback, Perry Williams. Touchdown, Purdue. Jim Kirkpatrick through the block. And Purdue moves 18 yards on a romp for the fullback, co-captain Perry Williams. 2 plays following an interception. And this is the 3rd time today, following a Notre Dame miscue, that Purdue has gone on to score. 36-14. 8 minutes, 39 seconds remaining in the ball game. Jeff Jones will try for the point after. Kick is up. It is good. The dejected Notre Dame fans, as Hail to Purdue is being played on the far sideline. Film highlights of 5 of college football's leading games are featured every week on the NCAA Highlight Show. The show is in its 1st season. It's in color, and it lasts for a full hour on ABC TV. Check your local listings for the exact time. And now the victory song of Notre Dame. From Columbus, Indiana, and now it'll be Jeff Jones, the extra point kicker and field goal kicker, who will boot it to Notre Dame. 37-14. Bobby Gladjo with the ball at the 15, the 20.
The last 2 possessions by Notre Dame, they have failed to pick up a 1st down, which is about the only time in the game that this has been true. The Purdue defense has come on very strong. Let's see what will happen this time.
Mike Ray of Purdue made the tackle on Gladjo as Hanratty calling signals in the Notre Dame huddle. The ball is at the 26. 8:33 left in the ball game as Denny Allen, 22 to the near side. Seymour is opposite. Gladjo. The marker goes down. A face guarding penalty coming up. Mike Reed on the tackle, along with Unaska, number 58, and Foley, 43. In slow motion, let's watch for the face guard.
See Gladjo being caught from behind right here. And the hand does get to the face mask, but of course there was no intent there. He was trying to get him from behind.
And now a new quarterback for Notre Dame, sophomore Joe Theismann of South River, New Jersey. From the 40, this is Theismann getting 2 yards. Chuck Kyle on the tackle. Notre Dame with 25 first downs. Purdue with 23. Purdue leading 37-14.
25 first downs and 23 first downs sounds to me unbelievable. It's a great tribute to the offense of both teams.
And I suppose the rankings, Bud, get more legitimate as this game goes on because these are two extremely talented football teams. 2nd and 8. Notre Dame at its own 42. This is Joe Theismann, number 7. Completing to Denny Allen. We've heard a lot of raves about sophomore Joe Theismann, and Roger Baldessari, the sports information director at Notre Dame, says the pronunciation of this sophomore's name is Theismann, like in Heisman.
I don't know whether that's an omen or not.
Well, he'll have nearly 3 years to prove himself as Notre Dame gets a 1st and 10 at the Purdue 46. Gladjo to the far side. And the fired up Purdue defense put the pat on the back for sophomore Rich Takavik. Rice's Landing, Pennsylvania, 6'2", 207. As Theismann leaves the ball game now. Or is he just talking to his coach?
No, Hanratty is back in.
Right. Purdue now has 442 yards total offense, and Notre Dame 407. 2nd down and 14. Hanratty at the controls. Well, Hanratty gets back inside the Purdue 45 as Ron Marie forces him out, along with Don Webster. Well, the ball is spotted at the 43, and it's going to be a 3rd down.
The Purdue defense continuing to alternate between an odd and an even set. Middle guard Kyle, sometimes over the center, sometimes moving over the guard, and this time he's back out of the line as a linebacker to make it a 4-3.
3rd and 7. Seymour going out. Hanratty looking. His receivers are covered. Now he spots one, and it's Gladjo. A trap ball. That's the 2nd time it's happened to Gladjo the last few minutes as Bob Unaska and John Riley covered on the play for Purdue.
Hanratty is having a remarkable day, as is Phipps. He's made 239 yards passing, 46 rushing, for a total of 285 yards.
Coley O'Brien is now in the backfield for Notre Dame as a halfback, a flanker back, number 3 at the bottom of your screen. 4th and 7. Jim Weingartner, as Hanratty had all the time in the world to pick out a receiver. There's Weingartner.
Purdue that time in a 3-man rush rather than 4, playing with a free safety to be certain that the play did not break for 6 points.
So for the Fighting Irish, it's 1st and 10 at the Purdue 29. Seymour to the far side and Coley O'Brien to the near side of the field. Dreshney is the fullback. Interception. The 3rd interception of Terry Hanratty today, and this one picked off by junior Don Webster. A timeout at Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana, where the score is Purdue 37, Notre Dame 14. You're looking at Don Webster, who intercepted the 3rd Hanratty pass, and Purdue now has the ball once more. 1st and 10 from the 21. And in the lineup, Mike Engelbrecht of West Bend, Wisconsin, a junior at fullback. John Bullock, a sophomore, number 31 from Newport News, Virginia, attended the same high school as Leroy Keys. And incidentally, Keys was taken out of the lineup and accorded a great round of applause by the fans here at Notre Dame Stadium. And something you seldom see at this stadium is people leaving before the game is over. 5 minutes and 32 seconds left in the game as Purdue now has a 2nd down and 6 at its own 25. Mike Phipps giving to Bullock. And Bullock gets his baptism of fire, and look at that. A fumble And it appears that Notre Dame has recovered. Vicious play here in this bruising battle between arch rivals Purdue and Notre Dame.
When you're trying to battle through people to pick up extra yardage and you get twisted in that manner, it's very easy to lose the ball, particularly if the second tackler coming in is going for it.
Mike Kunderla recovered for Notre Dame. He's a young sophomore linebacker. And here are the Fighting Irish now. 1st and 10 at the Purdue 26 with a fine fumble recovery. 5:17 left in the game.
Purdue did not have their full lineup in the game, Chris. They noticed it and very quickly took time out.
Excitement, color, and tradition, all a part of NCAA college football. The score, Purdue 37, Notre Dame 14. Notre Dame has come up with a football and a fumble recovery, and on the very first play, you saw Hanratty trying to hit Jim Seymour, his star end. Tim Foley covered on the play. It is an incompletion. Comes back to the 26, where it'll be 2nd down and 10. There's Seymour. Let's look at the fumble and the recovery in slow motion.
Purdue ready to snap the ball on offense. You can see the spacing between the offensive guards and the center. We'll try to catch it for you later because Notre Dame is breaking the huddle for the next play.
5:11 left. Plenty of time with the explosive Notre Dame offense. Here's Hanratty. And he throws one. And what a catch by Bob Gladjo. Beautiful job of getting that ball away on the part of Hanratty as Tim Foley covered Gladjo on the play. And let's look at the fumble.
Here we see it. A sweet play called. Great penetration by Notre Dame. He's fighting for that extra yardage. And then he really gets bounced by 3 people, and as he was turning and bounced, he dropped the ball.
Hanratty handing off to Gladjo on a 1st and 10 from the Purdue 12 as Notre Dame has come up with an opportunity. 4 minutes, 33 seconds left in the game. They trail Purdue 37-14. Over a 2-week football period or 2-game period, Notre Dame has 63 first downs, 35 against Oklahoma and 28 thus far today. Jim Seymour to the far side of the field on a 2nd down and 8 from the 10-yard line of Purdue. Hanratty carrying the ball.
That's what's called running into that wall.
60 is Chuck Kyle. 48, Mike Ray. And about a 2-yard gain to the 8, so it'll be 3rd down and 6. 3:50 remaining in the ball game. Following this game, Wide World of Sports. Southern 500 finals in the U.S. Olympic gymnastic trials. 3rd and 6, Hanratty. Out goes Allen. He may get in. Touchdown, Denny Allen of Ashtabula, Ohio, number 22, on an 8-yard pass. Hanratty to Allen, and makes the score 37-20 with 3:27 remaining in the ball game.
And Dennis Allen is a name that you'll be hearing a great deal of in coming seasons. He's a sophomore starting his first game today. That was his 2nd touchdown.
26 yards in 5 plays following a fumble recovery. And now they go for 2 points. Hanratty. And Denny Allen, who caught the touchdown pass, adds 2 more. Hanratty with great timing, making the score now 37-22.
15 points, 2 touchdowns, and 2 successful extra point tries for 2, and this thing is not over yet.
We'd like to thank Coach Jack Mullenkoff, his staff, Red Mackey, athletic director, as we look at this pass again by Hanratty. This is a touchdown. Denny Allen, number 22.
Believe me, it helps to have that speed.
Hanratty is 21 of 38, 269 yards, 3 interceptions. But there was a perfect touchdown pass and a fine run by the youngster.
I'm certain that all of the Purdue team is looking for an onside kick. They have, I believe, Chris, one too many men on the field, if I'm counting correctly.
3:27 left in the game. Foley.
You can see the 8 men waiting for the onside kick, but they've got 12 men on the field. And now they take a timeout trying to get somebody off the field.
That's one too many, Bud.
Yes. But believe me, they're looking for that onside kick, and they've got all of those people up there. They haven't quite decided who's supposed to come off the field yet, I don't believe.
In covering these games, we always like to thank the head coaches, in this case, Jack Mullenkoff and his entire staff, Coach Red Mackey, the athletic director, Carl Klages, the sports information director at Purdue, and also our appreciation to Coach Era Parsegian and his staff, Moose Krause, the athletic director, and Roger Baldessari, the sports information director here at Notre Dame. Well, a little confusion, and it appears that it's all ironed out now.
Looks like both teams are going to kick off.
Here's Coley O'Brien, number 3. And you see the ball teed up on the 40. It's gone 10 yards, and look out, Notre Dame may have recovered. The football belongs to Notre Dame.
Great execution. Everybody knew it was going to be an onside kick. Usually when you're looking for it, it doesn't work. But the Fighting Irish made it stick.
And the last time they got an opportunity, Notre Dame scored 26 yards in 5 plays.
3:21 left, 4 timeouts remaining for Notre Dame.
The ball is at the 48 of Notre Dame. Purdue leading 37-22. But this team you're looking at in blue and gold can score with dramatic suddenness. There is Hanratty. Flips one to Gladue. Look at the blockers ahead of him. And there he goes. Out of bounds. John O'Reilly, number 44, inside the Purdue 15. Perhaps he was out of bounds back a little farther. Let's see where his departure from the field is spotted. At the 26-yard line.
And believe me, the Purdue people are beginning to look at that clock.
I wonder if those people that left are going to come back to the stadium, Bud.
If they're listening over the radio, they wish they were still here.
1st and 10 now at the 26 of Purdue. Allen to the far side as we look at Hanratty. Seymour is split to the near side. Incomplete. 2nd and 10.
And once again, we have Leroy Keys in the game, man for man against Seymour. They're getting quite well acquainted.
Jim Weingartner, the intended receiver. You're looking at number 43. That was Tim Foley of Purdue. As the pressure is put on the Purdue defense, 3:03 left in the game. Purdue leading by 15 points. And here's Coley O'Brien.
Remember, O'Brien can throw the ball. He was Hanratty's understudy as a quarterback, playing halfback now.
And they have rehearsed a dipsy-doodle play all week. Razzle-dazzle. Let's see. This is a formation that's quite unique. And number 96, Jim Weingartner, on his back.
The screen pass thrown just a little too softly again.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 10 now. 2:57 left. Hanratty is 22 of 41. Last year against Purdue, in a losing effort, he threw 63 times. Denny Allen to the near side. Seymour to the far side. In the flat, all alone is Gladue. And he is forced out of bounds at the 22 by Mike Ray and Tim Foley. There's Gladue. And you see it's a 4th down now. 4th down and 6.
Every play is a big play, but for Notre Dame this season, they'll not have a larger one than this.
Last year in this state, they had 3 college football teams in the top 10, Indiana, Purdue, Notre Dame. And Lieutenant Governor Robert Rock is the official host here for the state in this traditional battle. Hanratty on 4th down. Missed. Oh, beautifully blocked here. And here's a pass way out of the end zone. And Purdue will get the ball on downs. Hanratty dejected.
Looking for Seymour, but Leroy Keys had him covered like a blanket.
Leroy Keys, fabulous football player, who today has had 12 carries for 72 yards, a 6-yard average, 2 touchdowns, 3 catches for 29 yards, 1 of 3 passes completed, including a touchdown pass, a total of 118 yards.
And also come into the game defensively anytime Notre Dame has moved into scoring territory to pick up Seymour 1 for 1.
And Mike Phipps continues at quarterback for Purdue. On the very first play from scrimmage, if you joined us late, he was shaken up. And Don Kiepert did a fine job filling in. Phipps today, 16 of 25, 193 yards.
At this stage of the game, Chris, you're always on the sidelines when it appears you're going to win, losing a little bit of your organization because everybody is so doggone happy, and I'm sure that's what happened to Purdue. They stopped Notre Dame, where had they scored, they'd have moved into position to perhaps get a tie or a win. Purdue now has their 11 men, and they're ready to go. 1st and 15.
Leroy Keys to the far side. Kirkpatrick and Williams. This is Williams. And a flag goes down. And again, the quarterback, Mike Phipps, who is 6'3" and 205 pounds, showed his blocking. Holding against Purdue. And there you look at number 43, defensive cornerback Tim Foley.
He's played very well today.
And with the towel over his head, that was Don Webster. There you get an idea of the size of the men up front for Notre Dame. 77, Mike McCoy. 75, Bob Kuchenberg. 245. And so it is a penalty against Purdue. 1st down and 20 back at the 8-yard line. And Kirkpatrick now is a flanker back. Keys is in tight along with Williams. There is Keys. And a couple of more steps as Leroy moves it from the 8 out to the 21. 13 yards. Joe Freeberry on the tackle for Notre Dame.
And the clock continuing to run. Notre Dame still has their 4 timeouts remaining. They'll probably take one after this play.
Now it's Kirkpatrick to the near side. Keys and Williams the setbacks behind Mike Phipps. Here is Keys again. Loose ball. And what a heads-up play by quarterback Mike Phipps.
Believe me, that's going to be one of the greatest fumble recoveries that Purdue has ever had.
What a thrilling ball game. We hope you've enjoyed it. The ball now is at the 15, a 6-yard loss, so it'll be 3rd and 13.
Notre Dame taking time out to kill the clock with 1 minute 43 seconds remaining.
Slow motion of that fumble.
Notre Dame was in a goal line defense, being absolutely certain that Purdue would not throw the ball from this field position. And you can see they really closed the gap on Keys. The ball bounces loose. Now watch Phipps. He's on the ground right here. He drives over the Notre Dame man and comes up with the football to keep possession for Purdue.
We have had a total of 921 yards eked out on the field. NCAA college football has been brought to you by Chevrolet. Putting you first keeps us first with America's most popular cars, including the 1969 Super Sports in the Chevrolet Sports Department. By the over 1,750 locations fixing Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's finger-licking good. By Dutch Master Cigars, made with 4 Latin American tobaccos, another fine product of Consolidated Cigar Corporation, a Gulf and Western company, and by Sunoco. People in the know, people on the go are moving to Sunoco. When you stop at Sunoco, you go with confidence. 3rd and 13 now for Purdue. To Leroy Keys. And can he play football? A Heisman Trophy candidate. You'll see him against Minnesota in early November. You'll also see the Another candidate, O.J. Simpson, SC against UCLA. And it is a 4th down now. And with the ball at the 27.
Purdue will be in no hurry to get this next snap off.
Right. 4th down at about 5 yards. Dick Berg, number 21, will punt for Purdue. We have Joe Theismann deep. Theismann looking at it. Bob Gladio has it at the 32. Makes a nice move. Look at this. He may make it. Beautiful loose move. And look at that battle. What a play as Purdue comes up with a fumble. That play by the Purdue man, number 21, was sensational. The kicker, Dick Berg.
Great execution of the punt return and a remarkable fumble recovery.
Clanton King put his 250 pounds over that loose ball. Oh, this game, anything can happen. The last 3 minutes, Bud, it's been extremely exciting. Now Keys comes in. Stan Brown was on the field. Leroy Keys has had 14 carries for 93 yards. He's to the near side. Dick Keepert is the quarterback, and that's what he does. Just trying to get running out of the clock. We'd like to salute our executive producer, Roone Arledge, our producer, Chuck Howard, our director, Ernie Sedaris, associate producer, Jim Feeney, associate director, Joe Assetti, assistant to the producer, Mike McCollum, engineering supervisor, Roy Robbins, technical director, Bill Morris. And ABC New York for their fine pickup of this game is Keepert on a keeper with about 8 seconds to go. Also, pats on the back to our longtime spotter, Bill Creel, Norristown, statistician, Jerry Kapstein, and Ben Gates of Columbia City. Once again, the final score, Purdue 37, Notre Dame 22. And now this is Chris Schenkel along with Bud Wilkinson saying so long from Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana.